In today's video, we're doing our 2,000 round review of the CZ P-09C Nocturne. There might not be quite as much range footage in today's video, though our famous ranking map will be making an appearance to help us break down the pluses and minuses of this firearm along the way. For those who aren't familiar with the firearm, let's first take a look at some of our graphics from previous videos. Here's our first magazine through the firearm. The accuracy has been very good to good for the P-09C Nocturne. Without a doubt, it is more accurate than the shooter using it. What has kept it from being at the 5 strips of bacon level for us is the trigger, which we'll talk about more a little later in this video. As far as accuracy goes, the combination of the trigger pull weight, length, and reach don't allow me to shoot the Nocturne as pinpoint accurate as I'd like. As a result, it comes in at 4 strips of bacon for accuracy. When it comes to reliability, our P-09C has been very reliable both with and without the micro red dot attached. During our first range session, in the first couple hundred rounds, we did experience 2 failures to feed. I've chalked them up to mostly being cold hands, aka limp wrist failures, with the possibility that the firearm needed to be broken in, loosely contributing. For more than 1,500 rounds since then, we've experienced 0 failures, with the Nocturne performing at the expected CZ level of reliability. All in all, for reliability, we're giving it 5 strips of bacon. I find the recoil of the P-09C to be very manageable. Not 380 pistol manageable, but certainly manageable for a 9mm. The polymer frame of the P-09C helps lighten the weight compared to a metal frame pistol, but it is not so light as to lose all ability to soak up recoil by virtue of mass. It is also of a size that being able to maintain a solid hold on the firearm helps with recoil control, where you don't have to constantly adjust your grip every shot or three. The P-09C gets 4 strips of bacon for recoil. It could be better, but it could be a heck of a lot worse on that front. Concealability is one area where the P-09C has the most room for change on this list. The main hurdle to ranking the pistol on the concealability front is I've struggled to find a holster for it that I both like and that fits in the dental floss budget I'm going to pay for one. Being a compact CZ, it is much closer in size to a full-size pistol than it is to being a pocketable or micro-compact 380 that we mostly feature on the channel. As a result, concealability for me is where it suffers. Plenty of people will be able to easily conceal this pistol, though with my Swiss cake rolls and preferred carry position, for me this pistol is one buffet trip away from being an outside waistband holstered firearm, at least when it comes to my concealed carry options. Once we eventually find a holster we like that fits in our budget, we will be revisiting the concealability of the P-09C Nocturne, where it's likely to move up at least 1 strip of bacon in the concealment list. Currently it sits at 3 strips of bacon. Here we go. Let's do a few magazines today from the P-09C Nocturne with our hollow sun attached. Working our way towards that 2,000 round review. We don't got many more magazines before we get there. Here we go. Make sure my sight's turned on. It is. First shot will be double action. Next, I can't remember if I put, next 14 will be single action. Here we go. Yeah, that was to the right. That's just me being terrible. Okay, we put some good hits in the bullseye. We're all around the bullseye. Really, other than our double action shot, our group is not too terrible out there. Got to work on that double action shot with some snap caps. Let's shoot at the right-hand target this time. Here we go. Same as before, first shot, double action. Next 14 will be single action. That's a little better. Okay. We kind of cut a line diagonally across our target on that one, but all of them are in the target, which is good. And our double action shot was better. We're getting there. The grip on the P-09C is one area that I'd call a little polarizing. Being a polymer gripped pistol, there are not quite as many options out there for customizing the grip. If swapping back straps doesn't get it in your Goldilocks zone, you're left with things like grip tape or grip sleeves to try and get you there. I'd prefer being able to use different grip panels to help me get there, but that's just me. Overall, the grip on the firearm is easy to hold with decent texture that is not too aggressive, though some will prefer a more aggressive texture, and those people likely opt for grip tape. So while the grip is easy to hold and enables the shooter to maintain a secure hold of the firearm, the somewhat limited customization options and struggles to find a setup that puts it in my Goldilocks zone has it currently sitting at a ranking of 3 strips of bacon for the grip. If the P-09C Nocturne had only iron sights, and those sights are the stock iridescent sights, the ranking would have been lower and likely in the 3 to 4 strips of bacon range. However, because the Nocturne comes optics ready and has a footprint that supports both the Shield RMS and Holosun K footprints, it gets a big convenience boost being able to use common, reliable, almost budget-friendly optics without having to go through the trouble of finding a mounting plate, which was one of the primary reasons we purchased this pistol. If you're a fan of iron sights and have no intention of using a micro red dot, the iron sights are decent but replaceable. Though if you're someone who desires an optic on your pistol, the setup of the P-09C Nocturne has plenty of appeal. Overall, the sights are at 5 strips of bacon level as a result. The trigger of the P-09C is one area where the ranking dips slightly for us. While it is good enough for the purpose, it is not quite as good as some of our older CZ pistols. The trigger pull is a little more stout, requiring a little more effort to use, and it has a longer length of pull. It leaves much to be desired, especially when you try and compare it against something like a competition CZ pistol that was set up by the wizards at CZ Custom. So while there are things you can do to improve the trigger, along with gunsmiths who specialize in doing so, when it comes to the stock trigger on our P-09C, it has earned 3 strips of bacon in the ranking. It's not terrible, but it has a ways to go to be at the very good to great levels. Like many modern double-stack magazine-fed 9mm pistols, the P-09C Nocturne has excellent capacity, coming with 15-round magazines and capable of using higher capacity and extended magazines. It's hard to justify giving a low rank to a pistol that has John Woo movie capacity. As a result, it gets 5 strips of bacon in the rankings. Okay, let's finish the day doing 2 magazines from our P-09C Nocturne at the 8-inch target here using our Holosun sight. First shot will do double action. combat reload. Okay, I think we put the majority of our shots through what looks like about a $half sized hole just above the bullseye. Good times. The cosmetic ranking in today's video is by far the most subjective of the rankings in this video. Some will be big fans of the modern styling and features like the forward slide serrations and cuts on the slide, while others will think it has strayed too far from the classics to be beautiful. With our cosmetic ranking including a note that you need to feel like a dictator when you shoot it, I've ranked the P-09C Nocturne at 3 strips of bacon. To jump up in the list, a gold-plated option that fits nicely in our budget would need to exist, but as the time of this video's creation, that sadly just wasn't in the cards. The easy rack ranking is a ranking of not only how easy it is to rack the slide, but also how limited strength or mobility friendly is the firearm. The P-09C Nocturne is not in the same class of something like a Smith & Wesson Easy pistol or a Ruger Security 380, but the combination of aggressive serrations and optics-ready nature help get it closer to being in that ballpark. The slide serrations help make the slide easier to grip, and for some, that will make the difference between being able to articulate the slide versus not. With how customizable the pistol is, allowing for different recoil springs and hammer springs, for example, there are ways to help make it more easy to use, even if some of those methods are going to shorten the lifespan of easily replaceable parts like, say, the slide stop. The sight customization options give shooters with aged eyes or other sight challenges more options towards having a firearm they can safely use. Altogether, while the P-09C isn't in the easy rack class, it's close enough while having ways to get even closer. As a result, it gets 4 strips of bacon in the easy rack category. The final individual category in today's video is going to be the most important to some: value. Priced in the $500 ballpark, the P-09C Nocturne isn't the most budget-friendly pistol on the market today, though it's far from the most demanding on the pocketbook. The P-09C Nocturne is accurate, reliable, durable, versatile, and feature-rich, with a surprisingly affordable price. As a result, we've given it 5 strips of bacon when it comes to value. Overall, and unsurprising after the value score, the P-09C Nocturne has earned 5 strips of bacon. The pistol is affordable for many, it's feature-packed, accurate, reliable, easy to shoot, and has a robust aftermarket support, making it extremely customizable. All in all, it's an excellent pistol for the money. It has earned that 5 strips of bacon score. Well, anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. Let us know in the comments how you have ranked the P-09C Nocturne in your rankings. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. If you enjoyed the video, like it, share the video with your friends and family, maybe even drop a comment on there. Those things really help the channel greatly. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good night.